Hello and welcome to this week's Webcast. I'm Brad Klier.
And I'm Josh Toback. We have an exciting show planned, but first, let's dip into the box for the 3 strikes. On Friday, WWE will hold its Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia. WWE decided to keep the show in Saudi Arabia despite many businesses pulling out of the country due to a recent event. So Brad, do you think the WWE made the right decision by staying there or no?
Well, recent event is putting it mildly, to put it at that. Absolutely not. I understand it because you have to appease shareholders with a certain income that comes as a result of their contract with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the General Sports Authority, but there comes a point in time where reputation, perception, and ethics can supersede money, income, etc. I think the stock, if you've seen it in the last week, has gone down based off of, at least in part, a contribution of them still doing the show there. You have John Cena and Daniel Bryan, 2 of their biggest stars, refusing to go to Saudi Arabia to do this show. You have had John Oliver, many media people rinsing them for this. So, yes, I understand the money aspect, but it's a terrible look.
I mean, money in the short term, yes, but in the long term, this could hurt them in the long run. Like, they could lose customers, they could lose investors.
I mean, maybe like sponsors might not like it, exactly. And it's a 10-year deal, so they kind of have to go, like, to not breach contract. But I just think the look of it, ethically, it's just such a terrible look.
So how do you opt out, exactly?
They can't. They're doing the show there. So I think they made the wrong decision in doing so.
So they're stuck.
They're basically stuck, exactly. On Monday, the Browns fired coach Hugh Jackson. Jackson finished his Browns tenure with a 3-36-1 record. Jackson had recently made comments criticizing the team's offense and is regarded by some as the worst head coach in NFL history. Josh, was this correct move by the Browns?
They played this. Okay, so they played some pretty high caliber opponents this year, and if you had told any Browns fan to be 2-5-1 entering Week 9, they would have been like ecstatic. So yes and no, because Hugh Jackson is the worst coach in NFL history, in my opinion. 3-36-1 kind of speaks for itself. Also, his stints with the Raiders, he's a better coordinator than he is as a coach.
I'll agree with that.
They also fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Todd Haley.
The Browns just cannot score, and I think if they had a better kicker, they could have a better record. If they had, if they could get the ball down the field, they could score. It's just they needed a change.
I'll say this. You can't entirely pin the record on Hugh Jackson because this team, similar to the Philadelphia 76ers, was put in a process-esque situation where wins did not matter over developing players. However, you can blame Hugh Jackson for multiple things. 1, that winless team last year should have won 3 games. 2, DeShone Kizer never had the chance to develop because Jackson jerked him around so much. And 3, I know you said the record 2-5-1. They should have an over 500
record. They should be 5-2.
Exactly. And I think you can pin that on Hugh Jackson. You looked at Hard Knocks this offseason. He is unwilling, or was unwilling, to accept any responsibility for things that he was at fault for. He kind of had this I'm the head coach, I run everything mindset, and you could see that on Hard Knocks.
I mean, it's just ridiculous that he was there after that 1-15 season, let alone 2 seasons with only 1 win. I mean,
and again, though, you can't totally pin that on him. But when he's
the leader.
Exactly. And when Sashi Brown, the guy who basically got the Browns to where they are now, got fired and Hugh stayed, and they said that Jimmy Haslam, the owner, actually wanted to keep Hugh, whereas John Dorsey, the GM, had to step in to make sure that firing happened. First off, I don't know what dirt he has on Jimmy Haslam for him to have stayed to this point. And again, I think another thing with Hugh, every year around the draft, you'd get all these leaks from the Browns out. Hugh was leaking stuff to the media every single year. I think he put this sort of atmosphere and environment in the organization that there was no trust outside of the front office. The coaching staff did not have a cohesiveness, as we saw with Todd Haley as well.
But if this was like a blowout, this was against the Steelers, right? A pretty good team, all things considered. If this was against, I don't know, like the 49ers and they got blown out, then yeah, I would say get fired. But why now? Right before the trade deadline.
I think it was inevitable anyway. I mean, Ian Rappaport said it almost happened the week prior. I think it should have happened before the season. It was just a mandate of Jimmy Haslam's that John Dorsey had to inherit. Hugh Jackson as a coach, it was inevitable. And I think if you know you're going to do it anyway, why wait? I don't like that Greg Williams, Greg with 2 G's, is the interim head coach. Bounty Gate Greg Williams, who yells like crazy like a banshee, is your interim head coach?
You go from a player's coach to that. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, Hugh Jackson is not the best fit there, but, I mean, we'll see where Cleveland goes from here. So this past Sunday, the Cavs fired head coach Ty Lue after an 0-6 start to the season. Lue had 2 years and $15 million left on his deal. And Brad, Is this the right move by the Cavs?
Absolutely not. Tyronn Lue never had the chance, based off this firing, to show the coach that he is. First off, good for him on securing the bag, getting that 5 years for $35 million. He's getting paid $15 million for next 2 years. He doesn't have to do anything. But besides that, this team was always going to be a terrible team this year. They're 0-6. Okay, that's not what you want, but this team was always going to be one of the bottom 8, bottom 5 teams in the whole league this year. 6 games in to a post-LeBron era, of which Tyronn Lue has never ever coached, and you decide to fire him when you had a bad team as is. I don't know what delusions of grandeur they had of being able to make the playoffs this year. I think this is a terrible decision.
I mean, you got players like Tristan Thompson saying, "Oh, they were going to make the playoffs this year." So I guess
but that's not realistic.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
just
It's not.
positivity.
I don't know what Ty Lue was telling them. I mean, he kind of took a backseat to LeBron. I think everyone can admit that LeBron was the coach while he was there, and now he's not. So Ty Lue had kind of step up, and he didn't. So
Well, I don't think it said he didn't step up. He
didn't have time to.
He never got the chance. You know, like I have no idea if Tyronn Lue is a good coach or not. Like I would like to say he's a fine coach. I can't say he's good or bad because I've seen him coach with LeBron, but I've never seen him coach without LeBron. So I think it's an extreme overreaction, premature reaction, and was the wrong move.
I mean, where do the Cavs go from here, right?
Who knows? Well, that's all for the 3 strikes. Coming up next, Josh will be here to discuss the Champions League. Stay tuned.